Relative to where you are in your season, how pleased or frustrated are you with the performance today?
Oh, delighted. Performance, I can't think of playing against a side that it's going to be battle hardened after the PNC and in those conditions. The old man beside me loved playing in 90 degrees of heat. And we knew it was going to be a really tough ask for us, and I think the biggest thing for me was we showed an ability to come back from a difficult start where we were all going to struggle to get up to man speed. Showed the ability and desire to want to work hard when we made mistakes defensively, and just pull together, and that's a big thing for us to work on through this pre-season. And the Eagles will have their timelines to be able to compete for the World Cup, but for us to come over and play an international side and get a win is fantastic for us away from home.
What did you think of the Eagle performance today from the perspective of playing against them in terms of the team that's suiting up for a World Cup?
Oh, look, it's not going to give his, Nick will give his opinion on it, but you know that with any team, just like our team, there are guys that are standing on the side that are being protected a little bit. So, and they are big players, and the big players make a difference to your team. So, for the Eagles to name the squad of 27, there was always going to be a little bit of trouble with continuity as the match went on, just like it was for us. And this is pre-season. I'm Irish. I watched the reaction to Wales being in Ireland, and I think it's nonsensical because it's a pre-season match, and the results is everything. But it's nice for a feel-good factor for us to get it. So I think they're in a decent place in a tough group.
My opinion? Yeah, look, I think reiterate what Conor said. They tried to play a bit of rugby. I think at times they put us under a lot of pressure. I like to look at the fly half. If I forget his name, we gave him a lot of space, and he took it. And I thought he was brilliant today. He marshaled the team around the field. As you said, they made a lot of mistakes like we did. Probably a little bit frustrated about that. Frustration is a thing that can really kill you in this game. I thought we probably handled that a little bit better than they did in terms of regrouping and moving on to the next situation or the next phase of play. Maybe a little bit better equipped than they would have liked.
What have you, big picture, what have you enjoyed about the American trip? What's been cool to come here and play?
Yeah. Look, I've just been absolutely amazed about this trip. It's the first time for me to mainland America for a start, and for a lot of boys in there as well. And probably the highlight so far is just we've done a couple of coaching sessions with some kids. We've done one down at, who was the first one?
We did Penn University. Went to Newman University.
Newman was brilliant. I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, but guys, kids that may not have had the easiest path in life, and the enthusiasm and the willingness to want to learn and get involved in the skill level and the clinics that we were trying to put on, and the attention that they were was brilliant. I think it's a game that's growing in America. I think we all want to see the game growing in America, especially at a youth level, and for us to be around those kids and the willingness for those guys to learn, and the excitement that we got out of it when we had some of the big guys in there getting them doing one-on-ones, full tackle, and they weren't holding back. They were getting in there bone on bone, and they were loving it, and we got all caught up in the hype as well. And for me, that's been outstanding. But the hospitality has been brilliant for us. Philadelphia, I know it's not a rugby town, but for us it's been fantastic, and wherever we go we've been treated brilliantly. So I can't speak highly enough for the relationship that we're trying to build here.
Yeah, we wanted to get the balance right this week, and giving the players a little leeway with 7 weeks to go to our season to enjoy themselves, but also working hard. And I think for us, we've just announced a 4-year, partnership with US Rugby, and this is just the start. And I'm sure it's not just 4 years; it's just the way that deal is done, and we want to give because we need to see the game grow worldwide, and there's no bigger country in the world. Selfishly, from a club perspective, you'd say commercially as well as growing the game of rugby. So I like to say with the hospitality has been absolutely, it's been incredible. I would not want to have, I say the frozen yogurt store beside our hotel. It's probably going to have business when we leave, because it's been frightening how much I've seen coming out of there. So our dietitian probably will be happy.
Is there anything you could share about the partnership with USA Rugby?
It's just working. I mean, rugby at the end of the day, it's just working from the ground up, and that's the biggest thing, getting our coaches hopefully involved. The development pathway is the biggest thing that happened. I think from a Harlequins perspective, we are pretty successful in terms of developing our own. We look at today's starting back, 7 of the 8 are from our academy. Yeah, we've got world-class players like Nick Evans and James Conor coming in and Adam Jones joining, but that's to supplement what we've got. It's getting that balance right, so hopefully it's a win-win for both, because we love the partnership. It's a great country to come to. I studied down in Alabama for my senior around 20 years ago. It's a great, great country, and for us to be able to take part in developing that pathway, I think it's going to be great for both organisations.
How did you feel?
To this earlier, why is it important for rugby that the game continues to grow here? You might say because we're more competitive internationally.
We're rugby, so I can put your rugby as a game. You need New Zealand against America in 18 or 20 years' time. You need a competitive team that can take on the All Blacks. That's good. I would say if you put a commercial person on, being brutal, they're a bigger commercial engine in the world. So the game of rugby has to continue to grow, and to do that we need successful US rugby. We also need the Commerce that will come up, and then I'll leave the Commerce people to do that. We'll get on with it, but that's the brutal facts of it. But what a country to come to visit, so
What do you see from the base of athletes in the United States that makes you feel like there is the potential for the sport to grow here?
Well, for me, I think athlete-wise, it probably doesn't get much better. Seeing some of those guys, sizes some of those guys coming on today. You know, obviously everyone. It's not the biggest sport. You have NFL, and you're going to have a lot of guys that miss out on places like that. And the next level is as weird as that coaching fit in. I think you've got a great team at the top level. I think you've got, you know, youth starting to get better. Maybe it's that middle bit where those coaches can step in and help and really fine-tune the athletes into the skill levels and the little nuances that's needed in rugby. You know, it can be a complicated game at times. I've played it for 15, 16 years, and it still baffles me sometimes, decisions and what I'm looking at on the field compared to what the referee's looking at. So how can you expect these guys coming in that don't know the game at all to learn those little nuances? So with that coaching level is going to be so key, which is why the partnership's going to be crucial for us.
Coach, looking ahead at the Premiership season, what does an 80-minute day like today do for the team, not only in terms of form, but just positive vibes going into what's going to be a long, difficult season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we underperformed last year from where we've been for the previous 3 years, winning trophies, been in the playoffs, and we have addressed, I think, some of the issues that we felt needed to be addressed. Some of that's fitness in terms of robustness of our squad and bringing new players in. Some of it is just working hard for one another, which is going to be, they're going to be bored of me very quickly when we talk about that, because that's all I care about. And going back to what Philly has done for us, it's allowed us to finish off our pre-season. To an extent, we still have 7 weeks, allowed the guys to do some old-fashioned bonding. You know, old school values are a good thing, and you forget that from time to time. You become too professional, and you forget that actually, if you care for one another, you have a bond with one another, you go that extra mile. That's the difference in sport. It's not all the time about science. So it's going to be a long season. From speaking from a personal perspective, we're up for a fight because we will prove a few people wrong that wrote us off last year when there were a lot of things that went against us, and we're a good side that produced a lot of good young players for England, have a lot of outstanding international players, and I think hopefully we'll look back at Philly and say it was a week that brought a new group and a new team together, and we have 9 internationals to welcome back as well, which will add a bit to us.
Cool. Last question, guys. Thanks.
I'll take it again. So one of the areas still developing as well is refereeing. Thoughts on the refereeing today? Any frustrations or thoughts?
There are always frustrations. I wouldn't do the job to save my life. It's a horrific job. I said to him straight after the game, even worse if you're refereeing your own country. I don't know how you can do that. So were there decisions, I'm sure, that went against us, that went for us? Yes. One of the things we've spoken about right from the start is we're not going to let those, hopefully, those frustrations get to us this year, because it is what it is. You're not going to change the mind, and if you let it eat you up, you'll probably die with that frustration you talked about. So, yeah, I mean, first reflections, I did a couple of decisions against us, a couple of decisions for us. Say it.
Thank you.